Hello everybody, Rogue Fox here, and welcome back to another episode of Endergate. This is episode 4, and last episode, we just finished working on the farmlands. At least, a part of the farmlands, because we still have all of this area to do. As you can tell, I started breaking this off section by section, so I finally made this side grass. We still got all of this area to fill in, but this is what we worked on last episode. So, for the most part, all of the wheat has grown in. I think I missed a spot or two. And the irrigation system is looking really good. I'm really loving these cobblestone stairs, or the waterlogged blocks, because that's what they are. Cobblestone stairs with some water in there, and I think we can even swim in it too. I don't know what's I don't know what that is. What's going on here? Okay, like think he's trying to swim? Anyways, getting distracted here. We have this irrigation system here. We built our little dam, and then of course we built our shadoof. So again, the shadoof is just a counterweight system that was used. So this would be our bucket of water. You would dip your bucket of water into the river and then just pour it all into your irrigation system so all of your crops could be watered. Now it is about to be, yeah, we don't want things spawning. Let's go ahead and sleep real quick. So as I mentioned, this is what we got done last episode. Now I was also reading the comments section and I'm hiding behind the wheat here. Hello? And a few of you have mentioned swapping out the hopper here for a cauldron. So I had no idea. I didn't even think of using a cauldron, so I thought that was a very great idea. So we're going to go ahead and try this out. So let's remove our hopper, and then we have our cauldron right here. Now the only thing I was concerned about was how it would look as far as our counterweight, if it would look unbalanced. And that actually looks really good. Yeah, because one of you had mentioned if we do the cauldron, we would have to add a little more weight, but I think, well, they're blocks. I mean, they look like they're even, but nothing looks too unproportioned. I mean, if we add extra weight somewhere, yeah, I think it looks good the way it is. So with just one block up there, and then that, I think that looks really good. So, of course, what we need to do is place water inside. And let's see if we can get... There we go. There it is. Yeah, that was a great suggestion. Yeah, I'm really loving that. For today's project, what I thought we would do is work on an XP farm. Because at the moment, I have no source of XP except running around and killing mobs at night. And then whatever I get from smelting. And that is taking very long to get XP. And I am in desperate need of that. And also a Fortune 3 pickaxe, because at the moment I have 2 Silk Touch. I rolled 1 Silk Touch, no problem, and then there's one of those deals where you see Unbreaking 3, so you take that risk. And then, of course, I ended up with Unbreaking 3 and another Silk Touch. But here we are. I was digging around last night, and I found my way over here. So if we hop on down, we do have a zombie spawner. So what we can do is turn this into a zombie farm / drown farm, based off the design I came out with about... Is it a couple months already? I don't know. Time's been flying by. But this is also very close to the surface, as you can see here. So if we go ahead, let's knock these blocks out. And that is the surface, right there. I mean, where'd that block go? Probably lost it up top. I mean, it is very close to the surface. So what I'm thinking we can do to keep with our Egyptian theme going, yeah, there it is have our spawning room down here, and then push them up to a building on the surface. I think that would be very cool. I'm not sure about the design, what I want to do for that. Let's go ahead and plug that back up. But, as I mentioned, I'm in desperate need of XP at the moment. So, yeah, this is definitely our priority project this episode. So, with any XP farm, first things first, we need to dig out our spawning room. So we do need a 9x9 room. Now, in Bedrock Edition, I believe I mentioned this before. I believe it was in the Drown Farm tutorial. We don't necessarily need a 9x9 room. We actually need, it's kind of like a diamond pattern. So let's go ahead, let me quickly demonstrate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 out. Oh, hello. So like I was saying, it was a diamond pattern. So normally it would need a 9x9 room, but with Bedrock Edition, it would be like this. So this would actually be the spawning area for a spawner. So the same rules apply. So a block up like that, and then also a block down below. We have this 3-block area where they can spawn because their feet can be here, and then they need an air block. So usually we have 2 blocks like that for their feet, and then head level, and then 2 blocks below that they can spawn. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out. Now, that makes me think, do we want to try to play with this design this season? The only reason why I do the 9x9 room is because if you look at this, it's going to be very funky doing all the water for this. So what I've decided to do is just go with the 9x9 room. As I mentioned, I need XP ASAP, so really no time to make anything fancy. Of course, we are going to decorate this farm, but other than that, we're not going to deal with that diamond pattern that I mentioned. I'm just going to stick to what I know. So that is a 9x9 room going into a single water stream that's going to push them up using the new water mechanics from the update aquatic. And I think this should be done pretty quick. I mean, I can't even think of how many XP farms I made like this so far. And there goes that. Thankfully, we have another pickaxe there. But as I was saying, I made plenty of these in my time already. So this kind of should be, hopefully, second nature. It's one of those things to where you know what you need to do, but for some reason you always have a struggle putting it together. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Now, I kind of have an idea of what I want to do for the design in this. So I'm going to use smooth sandstone up here for this perimeter. I'm basically replacing the cobblestone that you see with smooth sandstone, because after this block right here, so this gap, that's where this is all even. Up here, it doesn't matter what's up there, so this can be overhanging. And of course, having that diamond pattern being applied to the spawning area. So technically, we have all this corner right here to do whatever we like also. But like I said, I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward. It's going to be a 9x9 room. And then we'll see what we do for this, because we do have 2 blocks of dirt to go through. So we'll see how we design that. I just want to get this area done down here first. And this is what I've done with the place so far. Now, in the base, we do have buttons up top that lines up this terracotta. And I think I'm not going to do that here. First of all, this is just a zombie spawner, and it's probably not going to be my main source of XP once I get the blaze farm up and running. But I did want to decorate this. I didn't want to leave it all stone and a bunch of different blocks like this all over the walls. But like I mentioned, this is still their spawning area. So if I were to throw buttons across, at least on each corner here or straight across from the spawner going out, I believe a button would interfere, I think, with their spawning. So it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, on the other hand, it is a spawner, so I don't want to make it too fancy. So I just may leave it like this, and of course it is going to be dark in here, so you really won't see anything in here anyways. So I think I'm just going to leave this blank. Now it's time to place in the buckets of water, because I need to know where I need to dig out. So I'm going to place a bucket 2 blocks up in the corner here, and then we need 1 more bucket, and thankfully I'm surrounded by all these little water pits here, so we can go ahead and just scoop up from there. And then let's go ahead and place 1 right. It needs to go right there. Let's see, and I don't have sandstone, of course. Yeah, let me fix this real quick. The sandstone block is in place, and I went ahead and dug out the area that I needed. So we have this little V pattern here. So let's go ahead and place down our last bucket. That's going to flow like that. That's going to connect. And then when the zombies spawn, they're just going to be pushed into this little area right here. So that is all done. Now all we need to do, if I can get out of here, is start working on our little trench, which doesn't need to be too big because they don't need to be pushed that far. They just need to be pushed out of range. But I realize I'm going to need soul sand, so that means I need to pop into the nether. Again, I've been there already. You can see my nether rack, but I actually need to go out there and find me some soul sand. Alright everybody, a bit of a progress update. I was doing some work off camera, and I have my soul sand, we got that, and I also got myself some packed ice. And if you remember from episode 1, we had an iceberg biome right across from the world spawn. So I just popped over there and grabbed myself some packed ice, and this is what I have so far. So here is the tunnel that's going to come up, and we do have buttons here, and that's because that's going to hold the water in place, so these can all stay source blocks. Now let's go ahead and hop on down, if I don't fall in the water here. So again, we have this done. They're going to flow down here, and the water is going to go 3 blocks back and end right here. And where this water ends, what we're going to do is place in our packed ice. And so this way they can slide just a little bit to come across, because that is the only downside that I've seen so far with this kind of water elevator, mob elevator, is that we can't connect the water like we used to. So it used to be, I believe, a sign right here, and then a sign, I forgot it was low high or high low, I don't remember. But, there's my face. But, this is the way we have to do it now. So I actually need to place buttons right here. And, oh shoot, that is the wrong side. Let's go ahead and try this again. And at least those come off pretty easy. 1, 2, perfect. Okay, we have a perfect amount. So, this is going to hold our water back. So again, they're going to slide across here, and then what we would do is have water here. Now with the new water mechanics, so all of this has to be source blocks all the way up for this bubble column to work. So you can see the bubbles right there. Now if we don't have this, what's going to happen, let's remove it. So the water is just going to flow down, and even if we had signs there, it would still do the same thing. The water would just flow down. And then, obviously, that's a problem because this water, both currents are flowing against each other. So that is why we need to do that. And like I said, that's the only way that this can turn into a bubble column. So there they go. So there's the bubbles right there, so we know it's going to shoot us up. And then the reason that we have this open, so instead of placing glass here, what I've noticed is if we do have glass here, so at head level, what they can do is they'll come forward, they'll come up right here, and then bump their head on the glass, and then they just get stuck. So I found it easier just to leave it open like this. Now it doesn't have to be buttons, you can use signs, but I figured buttons kind of went with the flow. Oh, excuse me, went with the build, that's what I was trying to say. And then it's just, in my opinion, cheaper to make. So when it comes to water elevators, item elevators, mob elevators, it doesn't matter. Any water elevator. So what I've seen out there is people recommend placing ice blocks and stacking it all the way up and then breaking it, so you don't have to go in and individually place water sources in each block like that. And you know, not everyone has access to ice like that, and that can be very tedious as well. And I know on Java Edition, I don't know if it's been fixed, but what I saw on Hermitcraft early on, I haven't watched it in a couple weeks, but they were using kelp to turn it into source blocks, and I don't think we can do that. But I'm going to share with you a very, very useful tip. So, however tall your item elevator is going to be, or your water elevator, of course we need to make this taller because our mobs need to come up. But the easiest thing to do is come to the top of your water elevator and just dump water down, like that. And as I mentioned, see, everything turns into a source block. I believe I explained this before in one of my tutorials. But yeah, look how easy that was. So we place 1 bucket of water up top, that flowed down, and as soon as that comes into contact with soul sand or magma blocks, it will all turn into water sources. So let's go ahead, we'll probably take some damage here. And then let's try it out. And there we go, boom. Oh. And for the spawning area, I believe the technical stuff is now out of the way. We have the water elevator in place, we have the room all set for them to come up the water elevator. Now the only thing left to do is bring them up here, as you see right there, and then I'm debating if I want to bring them across and then down over here somewhere, or if I kind of just want to drop them right in front of this. And also what I'm thinking about is the build we're going to do. So I use smooth sandstone there just to kind of have that look for now, but I was thinking if we're going to come in the building from this way, I was thinking that's kind of weird because now they're going to be coming up over here. So that's why I was thinking about maybe bring them this way, dropping them in the center somewhere. or we can leave it here, and what I was thinking we could do is make this kind of like the center pillar of the build. So maybe have another pillar over here, and then another pillar over here, like that. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to have to think that out. But like I said, I really want to get this done because I do need an XP farm. So I'll probably do the bare bones and then probably worry about the build later on. That's probably something I'll do off camera in between episodes. And there is one more technical part to this. So I think I'm leaning towards bringing them across like this. I will turn these into stairs, upside down stairs, which I think will look cool for the roof. Now there is a little trick to doing this. So right now, if I go ahead and place a bucket of water like this, it's just going to flow right above the button here. It's not going to go down. And for some reason, I can't get that water back. So let's go ahead and do this. So, yeah, it's just going to have to bounce around there for a bit. So, what I want to do is bring the water across. So to do that, let's go ahead and come up. I'm going to have to remove this temporarily. Place a block like that. And then I'm going to have to, let's see, I'm going to break this glass out. And hopefully I do this right. Let's see. That water will spill through it. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. So we're going to go ahead. Now we're going to place down our water. So that's going to come, now that's going to spill out the sides. But we're going to go ahead and place our button back. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and place this back. And that didn't work like I thought. We're going to go ahead and try this again. I know I've gotten this to work before. So water. Why is that stopping right there? Okay, third time's a charm. So what I've done is this is where that water source was, and then I was placing the water source up there to flow forward. So what I did was cut off the source below, and then let's go ahead and try it now. So there we go, we have the flow. And now we can go ahead, we're going to knock this out. To do that, that should turn into a water source again, perfect. And then we remove this one and put the button back. So there we go, okay. Figured it out finally. So let's go ahead, we're going to give this a little test now. So I'm a zombie. And then come up. Ooh, let's try that again. Up. That might be a problem. I'm gonna have to go into the testing world and try that out. I went ahead and made a copy of this world and then threw it into creative. So I'm gonna simulate the zombies spawning here. And there's a baby, so that's a good test as well. I'm pretty sure they'll go up no problem. And we'll see. If you go up, are you going to fall back down? They do fall back down. No, see, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. So they do come up and get pushed across. But clearly, there's also a chance for them to fall back down. Now, let's see, where'd the other one go? That's also the issue with this, is that when there's only one in the chute here, it might be hanging out. So it usually takes the one behind it to push it up, and then hopefully the other one behind it has enough momentum. So yeah, it's kind of like a 50-50. That one came up, this one fell back down again. And I don't know, we might not be able to do it this way. So if I use maybe a trap door? Because the thing is, no matter what kind of block I put here, they might come up, they can come up and hit their heads. Sorry, I cut that clip short because I heard like a staticky noise. I thought that was my mic, but I think it was these guys burning up. So I think once they got right here, I think that's what it was. So they were kind of just stuck on the edge, I think it was going on. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Let's see if I had two of them. I just want to make sure. I made a jockey. Yeah, that's what that was. Okay. Now, as I was saying, placing the trapdoor right there. So, as I mentioned, the whole reason we're doing buttons in the first place is so they don't bump their head on anything going up. But I believe placing a trapdoor might bring that problem back. So let's go ahead, push him in. Yeah, see? Right there. So that is going to be an issue. So I guess the only thing to do is I'm going to have to bring them... Well, you made it over there pretty quick. The only thing left to do is to bring them this way. I'm not getting XP anytime soon. And I know we're running short on time, so I might have to do all this off camera. I might have to switch the stream going the opposite direction, and then they come up this way, and then they come forward. That's the only thing I can think of. That way the whole build stays above itself, if that makes sense. So this way, here's our area down there. So it's coming back over the build here. But if I extend it out this way, then, you know, we're going to have our build down here, and then the building out there, which I guess isn't too bad. But I was really trying to keep it above it so we can see everything going on below, like placing in glass blocks. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to think of what to do for this. And I'm really glad I didn't start doing that, because as I finished saying that, I thought about what I had just said, and even if I do push it over to this side, it would still be the same problem, because this problem right here is still not solved. So either way, the build is going to have to go off opposite from where it is. And I'm almost thinking of taking the easy way out now and just dropping them down below. Like I said, I really want some XP, so I might go with the original design of dropping them down. Yeah, that's sounding really good right now. So if this episode had a moral, I guess the moral of the episode would be any project you want to do, always test it in a redstone or creative world first, because you'll avoid problems like I just had. Now, I know for sure that the drown farm design that I have works, but what I tried to do was do something different, and I did not test that one out. I just kind of assumed it was going to work, and yeah, we kind of wasted a bit of time doing that, so, you know, I probably could have had this thing up and running by now if I didn't do that. So what I'm doing is I'm digging out the area for the redstone for the drown farm. So I think that might be it. I know it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe it is 7 blocks back. So let's go ahead and start placing in the redstone. And there we are. All the redstone is in place. Everything is working perfectly. We have our water that will be dispensed if we want them to turn into drown, and then we shut that off. And then when we want to soften the mobs, we press this button here. That will push our dispenser forward and suffocate all the zombies there, or the drown, wherever we like them to be. And that is pretty much it. And then, of course, we have this lever up here with our piston to hold the zombies back from dropping in to our kill chamber here. And over here, I just went ahead. I want to have a little elevator at some point. And right now, I don't have sticky pistons, so I can't do the one that I made. So I'm going to have to make a cheaper version, I guess, which I don't think should be too hard. I'm not going to do it this episode. I'm debating if maybe I'll do it at the beginning of the next episode or in between. I haven't decided that yet. Let me know if you want me to see, if you want to see me wire this up in the next episode. There'll be a couple days before I actually start recording for it. So in the meantime, if you want to see me wire this up, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But this is pretty much done. The redstone is hidden behind the wall here. Obviously, we'll take a quick peek. We're not going to go over all the redstone. Like I said, there is a tutorial that you can check out. So we're just going to go ahead. Yeah, so here's all the redstone all wired up back there. So everything's all good. We got a torch back there. Nothing's going to spawn. And then it's just a matter of decorating this room. But as far as the function of the farm goes, the farm is done. So let's go ahead, knock out the torch up there, and then try it out. And another thing, if you didn't know, in order to keep them from spawning, all you need is one torch on the spawner itself that will keep anything from spawning in. So let's go ahead, we're going to punch that out immediately. They are coming down. So we got 3. And let's go ahead and plug this up. The thing is, a zombie villager, will not turn into a drowned. So I'm not expecting that one to change, but the other zombies should change. And it takes about, I think, 30 seconds. You can see this is how I'm going up and down at the moment. Let's go ahead. We have the water. Oh, we should probably let them in, huh? So for those of you who haven't seen this farm in action before, if you haven't seen last season or the tutorial, so right now we have water dispensed, and I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why he's stuck. Water is dispensed at a head level, so this will allow them to turn into drown. Now the cool thing about this is that we don't have to have the water on, so that's an optional feature. And what that does is it allows them to stay as zombies. But of course, if you want tridents and all that, we do want them to convert into drown, which should be seeing that here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and we're going to let this last batch come down. Let's go ahead and cut them off. And then we just wait. So what's going to happen, there's some drown right there. Any zombies that have armor like this, once they convert into drown, it'll pop right off. Now, the problem that I had with this farm before is that when it pops off, it can either fall out here, and I think I've even seen it go behind the build here, so in the back. But for the most part, it will collect, so we have one torch. Let's go ahead and take that out. And let's just wait a second. Okay, so there is the helmet was floating there. I'm sure you may have seen it. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut the water off now. So that helmet dropped in. So there's the gold. So nice little gold farm on top of all that. And then we can go ahead and we shut off the water. That needs to be done. And then press that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? All right. And then everything should be a one hit. Yeah. And then if we're punching them, it should be 2. Yeah. So 2 punches or 1 hit with a sword. So let's go ahead, clear this out, and then we'll see what they dropped. We only had a few in there. But already we have a trident, we have the flesh, and then of course we saw the chest plates already. And then from there, all we have to do is flip it and let the next batch drop in, excuse me. And that's pretty much it. That's how this farm is going to work. I don't know why they're doing that. I've never seen that before. And this is a perfect place to end the episode because we finished our project for the day. We wanted to create the zombie farm here, or zombie/drown farm, and we did that. So a little trial and error there. I left all that in just because, you know, it happens to everyone. You start playing around with the design and then it doesn't end up working out. So yeah, like I said, moral of this episode, test everything out. There's a baby zombie there. Test everything out and everything should go smoothly. And of course, always plan for the unexpected. This is the end of our episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Ropefox, and I'm out. I'll see you later.